Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another Mom Chat. I'm so glad you're here. Over the past couple of Mom Chats, we've talked about sensory processing, right? We started out just explaining what it is, right? What it actually is. Then we explored the three sensory systems that are the most uncommon or unheard of: vestibular, proprioception, and interoception. And then we went on to talk about simple strategies that you can start using at home. So today I want to take a step back and look at something that we're all familiar with. The five senses, those basic five we learned in school: sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. And like I said, we most of us learn these in school, but as a pediatric occupational therapist, I look at them a little bit differently, okay? These senses don't just help our children experience the world around them, they also influence their behavior, attention, learning, emotional regulation, routines, and how they respond to everyday situations. When we understand how these senses impact our children, we can start looking beyond the behavior and better understand what's actually going on for some of our kiddos. So let's dive in. Let's start with vision. Most people think vision is simply, visual acuity. Can my child see clearly? But vision is also about how the brain processes everything that the eyes are taking in. Some children become overwhelmed by a lot of busyness, like a lot of visual clutter, a room full of toys, a busy classroom, a crowded grocery store. Too much visual information can make it difficult to focus, follow directions, or stay regulated. A simple strategy is by reducing visual clutter whenever possible, rotating toys instead of having everything out at once, keep homework or activity spaces simple and organized, and use visual schedules or picture routines to help your child know what comes next. These small changes can make daily routines feel a lot more manageable. Now, let's talk about hearing. Some children are very sensitive to sound, so the sound of the vacuum, hand dryers in a public restroom, fire alarms, birthday parties, or loud restaurants. For other children, it's not that sounds are too loud. It's that their brains have a hard time filtering out background noises. So imagine trying to listen to one person while there are five other conversations happening around you. That can make following directions incredibly difficult. Some simple strategies for this one can include turning off the background noise before giving directions, getting your child's attention before speaking, using shorter, clear directions, and preparing them ahead of time if you know that they'll be in a loud environment. Now, let's talk about touch. Touch plays a role in so many daily routines, right? Like getting dressed, brushing our hair, brushing our teeth, bath time, playing outside, even giving hugs to family and friends. Some children are very sensitive to things like clothing tags, seams, certain fabrics, or even messy or sticky textures. Um, Other kids seek a lot of touch. They may want to crash into things, wrestle, give big hugs, or constantly touching things. Instead of forcing uncomfortable experiences, think about how you can make them easier. So maybe that means removing clothing tags, trying softer fabrics, using detangling spray before brushing hair, or introducing messy play little by little instead of expecting your child to just jump right into an activity like finger painting. Small adjusted adjustments often lead to much bigger successes. Now let's talk about taste. This is probably one of the biggest concerns I hear. My child is a picky eater, right? For many children, trying a new food isn't simply about refusing to eat. Food is very much a sensory experience: the taste, the texture, the temperature, the smell. even what it looks like on a plate. All of those things matter. So instead of focusing on getting your child to eat the food right away, focus on exposure. So maybe they look at it today, tomorrow they smell it, another day they touch it, poke at it, and eventually they might lick it or take a small bite. Exposure, that's progress as well. It is progress. Every small step counts. And finally, let's talk about smell. Smells can have a much bigger impact than we often realize. Strong perfumes, cleaning products, candles, certain foods, even smells that don't seem noticeable to most people can feel overwhelming to a child with sensory differences. If you notice your child avoiding certain places or becoming upset around certain smells, pay attention. There may be a sensory reason behind their reaction. When possible, reduce strong scents and help your child communicate what they're experiencing. Okay, so now let's synthesize this. Let's put it all together. When we start looking at the five senses through an OT lens, something really important happens. We stop asking, okay, why is my child being difficult? And we start by investigating and say, oh, well, maybe my child is experiencing something different. What are they experiencing right now? Let me figure that out. That shift changes everything. Behavior, remember, we talked about this. Behavior is communication. Sometimes our children are telling us that something feels overwhelming or feels uncomfortable or something is simply harder for them than it appears. When we understand the why, we can respond with empathy instead of frustration and use strategies to support them. Remember, every child is different. Not every child will experience these sensory systems in the same way. And the goal isn't to eliminate every challenge. The goal is really to better understand your child so you can support them in ways that make them feel a lot more successful. I hope today's mom chat helped you see the five senses from a different perspective. And if you found this helpful, I really love for you to subscribe so that you don't miss future mom chats and share it. Share it out to someone that you know may need it. If you're looking for practical OT strategies, that you can use at home, be sure to check out my links in the description where you'll find my tools kit and my freebies and other resources designed to help you and your children at home. Thank you so much for spending these few minutes with me today, and I'll see you on the next Mom Chat. Bye bye.